right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another guest spotlight here on Next Level Radio. I am Ben Beck, joined by my co-host Adam Gorey, and tonight we are joined by a gentleman who has done so much in both film and television. You've seen him in films such as Coach Carter, The Rookie, and Illegal Tender, and shows such as Reaper and Boston Public. But now you can see him every week on the new USA show Rush. Please welcome, joining us via the Next Level hotline, Mr. Rick Gonzalez. Rick, thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. As Adam had told you when we were off the air, we are fans. There's been a bunch of your work that we've seen. Are you calling us from West Coast right now, or are you East Coast?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver. We're still in the middle of shooting Rush. We're almost done, so we're at the tail end of it, and I'm in Vancouver.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of USA shows tend to shoot up in that area, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of TV shows and films are being shot in Vancouver, as well as Montreal and Toronto. Canada gets quite a bit of productions from the States. So actually Reaper was shot in Vancouver as well. So very familiar with the city. Beautiful city.
Yeah. Now, when you're not shooting up in Vancouver, you live in LA currently, right?
Yes, I do. I reside in LA. But I'm born and raised in New York.
What was the transition like moving from New York to LA, going from East Coast to West Coast?
I tell everyone that it took me about 7 years to adjust, but only because of, I guess the pacing of it. New York City is definitely a city that breeds a grind and, just a mentality of a grind. And so to adjust to L.A. and the laid-back vibe of it, it took me a while. And then to get to know the city and what I liked and what I didn't like about it, took me about 7 years, but I think I'm one of the New Yorkers that definitely likes the laid-back vibe. Like, I don't need to be in the hustle and bustle of L.A. to feel like I'm getting my New York fix. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely that New Yorker that likes to just kind of that embrace the energy, that L.A. gave. Yeah. So I think it's a great city. It's to me, I couldn't ask for a better place, especially because New York City, we're full of we can get quite a bit of rain. We're very seasonal. Our winters are very strong. So to get 75-degree weather year round and that sunny disposition, and you just feel great every time. It's every day's a new day when that sun comes out. So. It's just a beautiful city.
Yeah, we broadcast from just outside of Philadelphia, so we know exactly how it is with the weather, up in New York.
Yeah,
because we're getting a lot of it. I mean, currently right now we're at the tail end of July, and we're getting high 70s, low 80s weathers, which is
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but it's really
that's so.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Summertime in New York or like East Coast is just magical. It's like, and I haven't really spent time back east during the summer in quite some time because I'm usually working. So it's like it's kind of been taken away from me, and like I miss being outside at nighttime in New York City, mm-hmm. like feeling that blanket of warmth and just the city alive, and everyone's just out. It's almost like. It's kind of like a block party at night, what I mean? Because everyone's outside. Yeah. It's like, it's like a big giant barbecue, and everyone's outside at night just, enjoying the weather. So, I mean, you can't ask for anything more, And, Vancouver right now is like kind of got that vibe because they don't get this type of warm weather, So, like, everyone's outside. The whole city's electrified from the sunshine and the warmth. So we're getting that kind of that East Coast vibe, out here, which is great.
Yeah. How's the food out on the West Coast?
It's amazing. It's amazing. The good thing about the West Coast is like they're so health conscious that you can get the things that you love to eat at in a way where you don't feel so self-conscious, like, oh man, I really got to hit the gym.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm getting a burger, but it's a veggie burger. you know, so it's kind of like, all right, I'll do the teriyaki quinoa burger. And at first you're kind of like, really? Do I really want to do this to myself? And then, you know, you get the nudge from your loved ones, like, no, do it. And then you're kind of like, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the mature Rick, you know, the guy who isn't eating McDonald's anymore.
Yeah. Unlike out here where you go to a cheesesteak stand and you're getting it like a greasy cheesesteak with, with Cheese Whiz and all the other.
Yeah. Oh, man, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Look, you can get that out here. You'll just get the clean, healthy version. And It's not bad. I'm not going to tear it down because I love a good, greasy burger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's just some things you can't substitute. But, you know, they've been getting pretty good at it out here. They've been, you know, really trying to, like, make that palate dance a bit. You know what I mean? Just to get you to come try it. So you just got to give it a chance.
Yeah.
Being from New York, I assume you grew up with some White Castles, right? Do they have any of those anywhere out west?
Well, you see, the thing out here is like In-N-Out. So In-N-Out is kind of our thing. And, you know, I definitely touch In-N-Out a lot out here because I love a good burger. And so that's a pretty good burger. You know, they have a lot of burger joints, just small spots around that you can totally get, you know, some good eats. So, I mean, LA is a special place.
Yeah. Now, we had mentioned in the introduction that now that everybody can see you on the new USA show Rush. It's still relatively new. I think there's maybe only been 2 episodes that have aired so far.
That's correct.
And for anybody who's listening right now or anybody who's going to listen to the podcast who hasn't had an opportunity to see the show, tell us a little bit about the show and your character.
Right. So the show is Rush, and it's based on a doctor who's basically practicing medicine in an underground fashion. He's a doctor for the rich and the powerful and the folks that want to be discreet that will pay his fee. And, you know, those type of people don't want their information out in the spotlight, so they call someone like Rush to come to their aid or their need and to take care of their situations. The interesting thing about Rush is that Rush is the kind of person who doesn't care about what's going on in their life, just wants to get the payment. Is a bit of a flawed character because he's such a great doctor. He understands medicine and how to manipulate it and has a bit of a drug problem. But he knows how to handle the drugs and how to use it to his advantage. So he's kind of an addict in a way but at the same time, you know, because he knows how to take those drugs, you know, he's very functional. So I play Manny Marquise, who's his drug dealer, who supplies him his product. And typically, you know, normally those guys wouldn't really become friends, but because they've had such a history of coming together and working so long and having this type of business transaction that Manny and Rush have become they have an affinity for each other. They respect each other. They enjoy each other's company in a way. And Manny's this kid from L.A. who is really good at selling drugs, has a really lucrative business, comes from the hood, but at the same time understands how to sell to a clientele that's, has more money, more refined, knows how to juggle different types of lanes. And so, you just have a character that, is someone who's coming at the game differently because he understands the bottom dollar, and it's like to have more clientele than just one lane. So, just having fun with it. Manny's definitely the kind of character who likes to live life, have fun, but at the same time has an agenda, and that's one thing that we'll learn about Manny through the show is like who he is, why he does this, and how he's so integral in Rush's life.
And, being a drug dealer that your character is, Manny is, and we even kind of saw a little bit of it in the first episode with the danger aspect of it. Is there any worry or any maybe like a little bit of anxiety when you're reading each script's episode? Like, I hope something doesn't happen to him. I hope he doesn't get killed off. I hope he doesn't get shot or something like that.
No, because I signed a contract that says I'm supposed to be working on the show, so I know I'm going to be safe for a little while. But
That's good.
my thing is like it's really learning about the character every week and seeing where the writers decide who Manny is and where he comes from and why he does what he does. And that's really the exciting part for me as an actor, because on TV we don't know where the character's going, so we're just like the audience in that before every script is given, we don't know what our characters are going to become. So that's something that, we're learning every week. When we finish an episode, on to the next one, we're learning about our character and seeing who he is. And so that's just the exciting part and the interesting part about the process of doing television. Whereas in a film, the entire beginning, middle, and end of the character is already there in the script for 2 hours, for a 2-hour film. So now you have this, this information to create the character. So we're constantly being given new information every week. So that's the exciting part about, especially learning about Manny and who he is, because when I signed on to do the project, and Jonathan Levine, who's done like Warm Bodies and 50-50 with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he created this show with Gina Matthews and Grant Sharbo, and they decided that they felt like Manny was somebody who isn't your typical drug dealer, in that there's a hidden agenda or a place where he comes from. He's not someone who is like this, really mean, sinister drug dealer type of character that we saw in the pilot, that Manny was making business with. Those people actually ended up putting Rush's life in danger. But Manny understands how to, make money in that world. But what separates him is his ability to connect with people like Rush and understand that and take that to a step further in his life. So that's the kind of thing that is going to evolve in terms of his character on the show.
Yeah, he's definitely, I would kind of describe him as, instead of a drug dealer, more of like a confident businessman, maybe, something like that.
Absolutely. He's totally, in his mind, a businessman. Like, this is totally a business, and certainly a business that can vie its way into another lane where he can move forward. So absolutely, he totally thinks as a businessman.
And I've had a chance to actually watch both of the first 2 episodes, and I gotta say, when we do a lot of these interviews, for people on new TV shows and even ones that have been on a while, I usually at least try and watch 1 or 2, but I don't always watch them after we're done the interview. But this one, I gotta say, I really like it. I think I might actually continue to watch it through the season because it's really cool. Rush is kind of like, to me at least, he's almost, in situations, he's like the MacGyver of being a doctor. Are you like privy to whether or not anything he does on the show medically is actually correct, or is it kind of just a little bit of guesswork?
That's a good question. We have some really smart people that write this show, so I'm almost 100% sure they're doing the background work to make sure that all this stuff makes sense. Obviously, this is a TV show, and we have to entertain. But to my knowledge, I think they definitely, make sure that, the things that Rush does, is medically in the realm of, in a world that it does make sense and that people in that profession would agree with. So, because I think obviously we're all not doctors or anything, so we're watching this type of stuff and we're like, okay, that looks exciting, okay, but I'm sure to a medical person who's like, get the hell out of here. So, but I think what we try to do is just we try to cover the holes in everything we do to make sure it all makes sense, so that way you believe every aspect of the show. No matter if there's funny moments or there's serious moments, that everything reads believably, and that, we sell every moment and that people are invested in everything. So whether it be whatever he does to save someone's life, or Manny on a 405, trying to pick up a girl, I mean, it's all like, we just try to, make it as real as possible. And I do all my own stunts with all my lady friends on the show too, by the way.
Good to know.
Now, Besides Rush, there's a ton of stuff that you've also done in the past. You've done a great deal of television shows, a good amount of movies. Is there one in particular you prefer doing over the other? Do you prefer television over movies or movie over television?
I mean, I don't, I don't prefer one or the other. I mean, I love film. So, the first thing I fell in love with was film. So I guess film would be it. But because there's so much great writing on television, it doesn't really matter to me. And that's why I'm excited to be on this show, because the writing on this show is so top notch, and, the words just come out of my mouth so easily. Mm-hmm. The dynamics of each character and how they relate to each other and how the story unfolds, and them, just connected to each other one way or the other. It all just makes sense. And so, I think, nowadays, television is a place where people can find amazing writing, whereas like 20 years ago it was a little different. It wasn't so prevalent. And I think now, a lot of film stars are coming to television because the work is just as good. So, you're not really missing anything if you come to television. But of course I do love film, and it's funny because I haven't done as much as I did in the beginning of my career. Whereas like now, it's pretty much been a lot of television for me within the last 7 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
right.
I guess
go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, I guess that becomes, the further on you get in your career, it becomes a little easier for you because you get to pick, you get more of a choice in the things that you want to do, rather than, you're taking a lot of things in the beginning of your career to kind of make a name for yourself. So, is there one, I know there's not one that you prefer over the other one. Is there either one that you find easier than the other, or do you find them both at the same difficulty level?
Well, I think in terms of film, it is a little easier in that, like, getting back to the idea of like learning about your character every week on television. As an actor, the preparation when you're working on a film is laid out for you because you know who the character is from the beginning, the middle, and end, and so you kind of work all that preparation out before you start shooting. Whereas on TV, you're learning about this guy every week, so it's kind of like it's tough to build a future and a past for the character if you don't know much of it. So you kind of gotta have to like build a little graph, a little backstory for your character to figure him out, just so you can have something so it's believable every week, which is total actory jargon or whatever. But it's stuff that you have to, as an actor, there's a different preparation for it, I wouldn't say it's harder, or it's just kind of different, So, yeah.
Okay. Well, out of all the features that you've done, is there one that any that is your favorite maybe, or one that you look back fondly on because of, the just working on it in general?
I think working on Coach Carter was special just because I think everyone on the set, we all just had a great time working with each other. I'm still friends with Rob Brown to this day. We just had a really good time on that set. I think we all enjoyed each other. There was no tension or competition, or I think we all just were happy to be there and just excited to be on the film. And we had a great example from Sam, who was so gracious and fun to be around and just super chill. I think another film that sticks out is I did a film called The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. It was for Disney, and that was my very first studio film, and like my biggest thing so far at the time. And I just remember John Lee Hancock, who he also did The Alamo and some other films, and what stood out to me was like he said to me, he's like, I want everyone to know who you are after this film. And I was just so humbled for him to even want to, hire me and to propel me in this film and to give me an opportunity to do good work and to work with the cast that we have, at the time. We were all so young. Jay Hernandez, myself, and a buddy of mine who actually helped me get my manager at the time. He ended up passing away. His name is Angelo Spazzeri. He played the catcher on the baseball team with us. And I just never forget that time. We just spent 2 months in Austin, Texas, and we just had the time of our lives. And it's those moments where you they stay with you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think also old school as well. It was so many of us in the pledges, and it's so awesome to see all of the pledges do great things now. Like Patrick J. Adams is on Suits, and Simon Helberg, who's on Big Bang Theory, and
Yeah. I forgot he was in that.
I mean, it's just so many of us that just went on to do great things. Yeah. So just man, it's just I'm very blessed to be a part of those films.
Even like you said with Coach Carter, because I am such a sucker for that movie. If that movie's on, I'm watching it. I don't know what it is. I love the story, and the acting is great. I mean, that was even Channing Tatum. That was like one of his first movies. It's you forget some of these.
Yeah.
Some of these.
Yeah,
movies,
it was great. I mean, what we did. I mean, we teased each other so bad. I mean, oh my God, poor Channing. We would just tease him to the days on end, man. And he was a good sport about it. Sometimes he got a little upset, because he wasn't quick with the rebuttals or the quick witty little responses. But we just had such a good time. We would just rip into each other every day, and that stuff was just so much fun. I mean, the first time we laid eyes on Channing, I looked over at Rob Brown. I said, I see who's going to be the future star here. We just kind of looked around like that guy, and then, of course, he goes on to fulfill that prophecy.
Do you still talk to Samuel L. Jackson at all?
No, but we see each other at events, and Sam is he's such a classy guy, always says hello, and it's just always super chill. And I mean, Sam was such a huge supporter of the film. I mean, when we finished the film and we were in press, doing press for it, he was actually vying for some sort of nomination for some of the cast. Mm-hmm. And he really pushed for it because he felt like the film was that good. And at the time in my career, that's such a huge ordeal for someone of his caliber to feel strongly about the film and to really get behind it. And, that really meant a lot to us. Yeah. It really did.
I mean, I would think with him playing Nick Fury in the Marvel movies, he might be your into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Yeah. Oh, I'm a huge Marvel fan. Oh, I collected comics as a kid. Like that was my thing. So I know exactly. I mean, and I love that Marvel's doesn't really stick to the script in terms of the casting and stuff like that, because it just opens the doors for possibilities of cool people that could do it, and just him in the Marvel thing. That's freaking cool as hell.
Yeah, that you should next time you see him, you should try and just nudge him a little bit to get you into that group.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Hey, man, we need some Puerto Ricans / Dominicans in the Marvel world.
Now, I know you had mentioned Old School earlier, and that's a movie, obviously, that I'm a big fan of. I know Adam is too, and there's a bunch of people. But another movie that you did that, believe it or not, I'm actually a fan of. I'll watch it every once in a while. I'll pop it in as Biker Boyz, that you did.
Yeah.
At the same time. I think it was the same year as Old School. I think it was 2003.
Yeah, I did it back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Lorenz Tate, who was in Biker Boyz with you, is also in Rush with you.
Yes, he is. And that was Biker Boyz. I did one scene with Lorenz in Biker Boyz. That was the only time I've ever worked with him. I haven't shot a scene. Well, that's not true. I was technically in a scene with Lorenz in the pilot, but I wasn't in the scene technically, so it's confusing. But I talked to Lorenz, and I'm like, we need to speak to each other in a scene. I need that to happen.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to. I'm hoping that happens this season of Rush. Yeah. But yeah, man, I was so excited when Lorenz was doing this show, and because I'm a huge fan of his. And it's funny because when we did Biker Boyz together, Lawrence Fishburne was doing press for the show, and he was on a show called 106 in Park on BET, and he was on the couch. And they asked him a question. They said, you know, there's a lot of young actors coming up. Is anybody you're excited about and that you think might do some really great things? And he mentioned Lorenz Tate and myself. And I was like, oh, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's the beginning of my career. And I'm like, Lawrence Fishburne, like, thinks I'm cool and I'm good. And that was just, like, major. That was so major. So, yeah, man, it's just, you know, so cool.
Well, I know we're getting towards the end of our time with you, but usually how we like to wrap up our interviews is we like to do what we call our rapid fire. And basically what that is Adam's just going to spout off a couple questions to you. They're very easy questions. Just answer with the first thing that pops into your head. You don't have to go into too much detail with them.
All right.
I know you said you eat a little more healthy out on the West Coast now, but what's your one favorite food that you love to eat but you probably shouldn't eat?
I love to eat that I probably shouldn't eat. Cheeseburgers.
All right, next one is, what's one of your biggest pet peeves?
My pet peeves.
Mine is
honking horns.
Honking horns.
Honking. Yes.
I was gonna say mine was hashtagging on Facebook to give you a little bit of.
That's even better. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
What's your favorite TV show, past or present?
Rush.
That's a good answer. It's a good answer. Can't argue with that. Last one for you. What movie are you most looking forward to seeing this year, or maybe one that you just recently saw that you were really looking forward to?
Interstellar.
Oh yeah, that does look really good. That's the Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, I'm a big Nolan fan.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned that you're a big Marvel fan too. Have you had the opportunity to see Guardians yet?
No, and I'm gonna be honest. I've never read a Guardians of the Galaxy comic book. I always skip those.
Neither have I, but I got a chance to see a screening of it, and I'm just giving a review real quick. It's just probably one of the best Marvel movies they've done yet.
Oh wow! Well, then I have to do it. Then. Yeah, I have a daughter now, so me going to the movies is like done.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the inside of a movie theater in like over a year. So
yeah,
I'm probably just gonna do screeners now. I'm like, hey, can I get that?
Yeah. So
yeah, well, I mean, if you talk to Samuel L. Jackson, he could probably hook you up with a copy.
There you go. I'm gonna strong on Sam as soon as I see him, and I'll send him your way.
There you go.
Oh, perfect.
Works for us too. Well, we're definitely going to send people to go check out Rush. They can see it every Thursday night on USA 9/8 Central. We want to send people to check you out on Twitter as well at official Rick G. And Rick, we just want to thank you for joining us tonight. This was a good time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Been a real pleasure.
All right, well, be sure to check us out, www.nextlevelradioonline.com. Follow us on Twitter at NXT Level Radio, and we will see you guys around the bend. Take care.